The Dodgers leaving one of their latest signings off of the opening day roster. We get into the latest with Hyeseong Kim. As we know, there has been a lot of speculation on whether Kim will be part of the opening day roster. So we get into that in this edition of Dodgers Digest. Hey, this is Mike Nelson. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I want to thank the 30% of you, the ones who are watching these videos, who have already hit the sub button, but 69% of you have not subscribed yet. You know, myself, Brad, Jay will bring you everyday Dodger content. We got live streams going on. We're the best Dodger channel out there, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. We want to reach 10,000 before opening day. Let's get right into it. Of course, Hyeseong Kim could be left off of the opening day roster. This just came out this morning, a report from Jack Harris of the LA Times, actually revealing on Tuesday morning that Kim could start the season in the minor leagues as he continues to make adjustments at the plate. Brandon Gomes was a non-committal on where Kim would begin his North American career. As we know, he has been struggling here in spring training. Spring training is well underway. Dodgers are playing right now against the Brewers, and there's speculation on what's going to happen with Hyeseong Kim. I think a lot of people thought that Kim was going to get signed by the Dodgers, and he was just going to, kind of be an everyday player for the team right away. I mean, they traded Gavin Lux away. Let's not forget, Gavin Lux was traded away soon after they signed Kim. So that just shows you, how the Dodgers were thinking pretty highly of Hyeseong Kim to be part of this team. Originally we thought super utility guy, and then, more reports came out that maybe this guy would be an everyday player, and I think that's still the plan. I don't know what you guys think, but I still think Kim is projected to be an everyday player for the Dodgers eventually, right? I mean, I think they have made the moves to create some space for him on this roster, right? Trading Gavin Lux away, right? If Gavin Lux was still on the Dodgers roster, then I don't even think we'd be having this conversation right now, right? I mean, Kim would have been projected to start the year in the minor leagues. They still would have signed Kim if they had not traded Gavin Lux. They still would have signed him. They just would not be probably maybe even putting him on the roster, right? They'd be thinking of maybe potentially putting him in the minor leagues so he can get more playing time. Because if not, he would have been in the major leagues just as a utility guy, kind of just as a fill-in, right? And I don't think the Dodgers really see that for Kim's career. They think very highly of him, and they want him to be a part of this team in a big way. So Dave Roberts spoke about, Kim, and he said, defensively, he thinks it's going to be a seamless transition. He doesn't, think there's going to be any issue, and that, that makes sense, right? I mean, because it's all about fundamentals defense. I mean, your positioning, the way you ground, way you catch grounders and all that. That's field grounders. It's all, fundamentals, right? I mean, that has nothing to do. It's the same in any part of the world. So defensively, I would agree. Yeah, I mean, I think that transition shouldn't be any problem. But like Dave Roberts said, offensively, there's certainly more velocity, right? Controlling again his path right, being able to handle balls and move late, handle velocity, use the whole field, right? Pull everything. He's going to put the ball in play. He can run, and that's something that obviously it takes a lot of practice and up bats. And like he said, I just think he needs more repetition. So we're going to try to get him out there as much as we can. He's talking about, of course, about spring training, the Cactus League. Talking about how they're going to try to get Kim as much at bats as they could possibly get him to play as much as they can during the spring training. Because frankly, these games mean nothing, right? They mean absolutely nothing. And this is the time to play guys like Kim. This is right away. I mean, this is what Roberts saying, he's already shown that he's a quick study and he's got aptitudes, of course, what Dave Roberts was talking about. But, like this article talks about, there's no guarantees when it comes to a roster spot. Kim is battling with Chris Taylor, although Chris Taylor, is he getting traded or not? I think that's still a big question mark if Chris Taylor even fits in this team still. Andy Pajes, as we know, is a player that's been kind of up and down for the Dodgers. Is he really part of this team for opening day? James Outman, that's a big question mark. Eddie Rosario having the 2-run shot last week. We talked about that on the channel. So there's obviously competition, but I don't know what you guys think. I think Kim, at the end of the day, does get a spot on this team. I think, He might be struggling right now, right? Look at his stats so far, 1 for 9. This is, of course, including yesterday's game. We don't know how he's doing today yet. Currently 1 for 9, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, going over 3 yesterday, Tuesday. It hasn't been the best for Kim, but isn't this expected, right? Isn't this really, how can you be shocked that Kim is 1 for 9 during spring training? Come on. This guy has never played against major league pitching. He never has in his life, right? I think it would be shocking to say like, oh no, he's gonna like just hit lights out and just take over, right? It's just not gonna happen. It's gonna take time for him to adjust. And spring training is like something that I think you can't look too much into spring training, right? For me, I'm not really, into the spring training, results or how the team is doing or wins and losses or even how some players do because it doesn't mean anything, right? It means absolutely nothing. And the pressure is extremely low during spring training because there is no pressure, right? You're not playing for anything. But for players like, Kim and Eddie Rosario and James Outman and Andy Pajes, obviously these are big games, right? Because they're trying to earn their spot on the team. But this is more of a personal, individualized way of looking at spring training, right? I think that's what spring training is all about. How these players that are on the bubble are doing and how they can get, a spot on the team, right? That's basically what it's going to come down to at the end of the day for a lot of these players, right? How do they get a spot on this team? And I think that's what everybody's going to be kind of, looking for the rest of spring training. But I don't know what you guys think. Comment below. Do you think Hyeseong Kim is going to be, a player that is going to be part of this team, right? That he's going to be on the opening day roster? Personally, I think he will be on the opening day roster. Obviously, if he keeps struggling, I think he's going to, he'll get a little better as the games go along. It's still only February, right? We still got a few more weeks, for spring training. It's not like this is going to be done this week, right? So, see how he does today, see how he does in the next few days, and if he starts picking it up, he's gonna have a spot on this team. The Dodgers traded Gavin Lux away to create a spot for him, and that's it. They made that decision because they believe in Kim, right? They think this guy is a real deal, and he's going to be an important asset for a World Series winning team. I think it speaks highly of how the front office views Kim, and I think we just have to have confidence that he's going to turn around and play better for the Dodgers. We got a big live stream coming up on Friday morning. Myself and Brad J, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. We're going to do those Friday live streams during the off season, and then, of course, when the season starts, it's going to be almost every day. So make sure to tune in. As always, let's go Dodgers. Woo!